Theories of gender socialization, cognitive development theory. Cognitive development theory, as the very name shows, is a theory or an approach which emphasizes the cognitive processes or cognition. Cognition, as you know, is about thinking. It is your thinking as well as the process of thinking. So, according to this theory, learning of gender roles takes place along with the process of cognitive development. We know that the very famous name associated with cognitive development is that of Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget, he had interest in how children learn different behaviors and how their cognitive development took place. His interest in identifying children's gradual development of intelligence, thinking, and reasoning laid the foundations for the cognitive development theory. Initially, he observed the growth and development of his own children, and from which he drew many principles that applied to cognitive development. And this is how we know how children at different stages, different age levels, they have different cognitive capacities. So therefore we see that while this cognitive development is taking place, we are not going to go into the details of the stages of cognitive development, but we hope that you are familiar with the different stages that Piaget had talked about, like the sensory motor stage and pre-operational stage, and reaching up to the concrete development stage and formal operations stage. So during this development, the learning of gender roles also takes place. He says, through continuous social interaction at every cognitive stage, cognitive abilities are developed. And behaviors also depend on a person's perception of social situations. So as our cognitive development takes place, our perceptions also develop. And the way we perceive things and different phenomena and events and people and surroundings, that also involves the way we look at gender. So a related theory was given by Kohlberg, who talks about how children learn that their gender is constant. Because we talk about other theories and we see that how gender and gender roles are learned, but we never realize that how and when children learn that their gender is something which is fixed, which is not going to change, and which is constant, which is stable and consistent. So his theory talks about gender constancy. Children understand gender just like anything else. So learning gender roles or learning gender identity is not something different from learning any other concept and construct that children learn. Having experiences of people of both genders, children think about different people of different genders, they notice their behaviors, they notice their activities, they make mental notes about that, and gradually there is a formal image of different genders in their mind, that this is how a male is like and this is how a female is like. So behaviors consistent with their own gender are adopted. So when they observe other people performing different behaviors, the behaviors which are in consonance with their own behavior, those behaviors are adopted and they are assimilated. Behaviors which reflect their use of language, clothes, toys, they adopt them according to their own gender. Acquisition of gender roles results from gender constancy. So once gender constancy has taken place, gender roles are learned. Gender constancy, according to Kohlberg, takes place in 3 stages. It does not happen all at once. It is happening gradually in stages, different phases. Stage 1 is gender identity. So identifying genders. Age 2 to 3 years, becoming aware of one's own gender and that of others. A small child realizes that she is a girl and so is her mother. A small boy realizes that I am a young boy, a male, and this is my father, who is also a male. The second stage is gender stability. About 4 years of age, realization of boys and girls that they will grow up as men and women respectively. So realizing that my gender is not just for now, I am going to grow up and I'm going to turn into a man or a woman. And then finally, gender constancy, consistency, 5 to 7 years of age. The awareness that gender remains the same no matter what one wears, no matter what type of haircut we have, no matter how we talk or walk or wear. Our gender is not going to change. It is something permanent. It is something consistent. It is something constant. The other approach with a cognitive tilt is the gender schema theory. Gender schema is based upon the idea of schema. A schema is a mentally organized network of gender-related information that influences behavior. A schema is a mental net or a network. किसी भी चीज़ के बारे में आप एक बुनियादी स्ट्रक्चर उसको जो है वो उसको फॉर्म करते हैं और हर चीज़ जो उस स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर फिट होती है उसको आप उसके साथ इख्तियार करते जाते हैं. Gender schema is a mental framework that organizes and guides a child's understanding of information relevant to gender. According to gender schema theory, children first develop simplified concepts of male and female and their distinctions. And they are later on going to apply them in a universal manner. They organize their observations of men and women around the gender schema that they have formed. So initially there is a structure, there is a network in which different ideas can be fitted. So any idea which is similar to that schema will fit into that. So if we have a network of ideas and concepts pertaining to male gender, then we will keep fitting those ideas into that schema. And those ideas which are similar to and matching with the female gender will be fitted into that network. Therefore, this is how we make the male schema that men are strong, men are brave, men are hardworking, men are capable. And women, they are mothers, they are soft, they are affectionate, and they are also capable. So we see that this is how the cognitive development approach understands the development of gender roles during the socialization process.